Amanda.
And I'm Ben.
We are AutoSave. Welcome to our channel.
Today we are watching Rezero, Season 1, Episode 5. Last episode, we died again.
Yeah, we did.
We don't know who killed us. Potentially
Unknown
Rem.
assassin.
Potentially the other sibling of Rem. After that conversation happened.
Definitely.
In regards to Natsuki Subaru being some sort of spy and his potential to be a spy.
But
it
they're
sucks.
just children. They're
it sucks,
just children.
man. We just got plans to go out with Amelia, after work was done. We were on a good path, and death again.
Death.
Again.
And to not even know who did it, who to be suspicious of, what do you change this time to ensure that you actually get to wake up and it's a new day tomorrow?
That's a good question, because that's the question that Super is going to be trying to figure out.
And my theory was that we needed to befriend Betty, because how would an assassin find us if they couldn't find where we were in the house?
I like it. But how could we convince Betty to let us sleep in her room? That's an even harder question. Maybe make a deal with Puck, be like, Puck, give infinite pets to Betty. What would you have to give Puck, though?
I mean, and there's also that possible little nugget we got from Puck last episode about a slight ability to read minds or be able to tell what someone is thinking about.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting.
Be able to tell if someone's a good person or not.
Yes. Also, we were trying to decide if we should watch a director's version of this show. We don't know too much right now. We're in the process of trying to learn about it through a mod so we don't have to be spoiled. This could be wrong if maybe 2 episodes are together in one and that's the direct. I don't know. All I know is that I like the show a lot. I like being able to dissect it and remember what we watched. So
if that is the way that a director's cut would be, I guess it would make sense to me as almost kind of, it seems like he gets a few tries in each kind of life. Might be possibly the algorithm, the pattern that is emerging that will be happening, and maybe that's kind of how the director's cut would be laid out. Yeah,
but if you have comments or any thoughts about the director's cut and explanations for us, and if it would benefit us or not benefit us for watching the director's version in regards to understanding the show and discussing it,
and enjoying
please let us know. Yeah, please. But without further ado, you ready? Sweet.
I'm insanely nervous. I have a tummy ache when we start this show.
It's like, I've never started shows being like, okay, how am I going to die this time, Oh,
and the music.
The music. So much more haunting this time.
No, that's me.
God, that's so traumatizing.
It's clear this one almost hurts him the most.
Yeah.
Because of not knowing why. He doesn't have a memory of watching himself die like all the other times.
Right into Betty's library, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Crying.
Last time.
So Puck does remember him.
What? Okay, I gotcha. So Puck doesn't remember him.
The same outfit.
Ram and Rem. Aww. I like her movement.
That one makes so much sense. Time is limited, the world is grand.
I love that.
Our story has just begun.
I'll get past that night. God, such an interesting show. Again? Not the permanent resident?
Asked to be
permanent
a guest. And don't go to sleep. Stay up. Fight the intruder off.
Rem, I feel like, is already a little suspicious. Interesting.
It's already different.
Yeah.
Is that why Ram was on his lap?
Oh God.
I believe it. Assassin.
This is happening the same.
Super
Counting
rude.
Amelia's this time. Huh.
What changed?
Oh my God.
Yeah, that makes sense. Doodles. Honesty is her most charming feature. I don't like not seeing her. Oh, okay. I got so scared for a second.
Very logical.
Interesting. She's so quick.
Yeah, I love the voice acting. Suspicious, right?
Did she take that as an excuse
I think
of why
so.
she was staring?
Is it like, oh yeah, definitely a spy this time, you know?
Ram's the one that should be suspicious of him, though.
Yeah.
Oh, but Ram has to do all the things her sister can't.
Yeah.
What if Ram couldn't do it? Oh, yep. I like that he's phrasing it as a date.
Right? Oh no, the kids again.
Probably. Aww.
Ouch.
It's a lot of blood.
Aw.
Sister's so focused on hierarchy.
Right? Oh yeah, definitely. She a demon?
They
Oh
did this
my
for
God.
you.
You got this, dude.
Oh,
Don't die of a heart attack.
oh my god. He's trying to replay it.
Aww. He didn't show the phone before, right?
Uh-uh.
Motivation, right?
As long as it doesn't cause any issues for the villagers, that worries me.
Please don't die again. But if she says it, you won't do it again. Please. Okay. Alright. We're good, right? We're not waking
Unless
up.
there's like an after credit.
There's a lot of time.
I know.
So let's just sit here and hope to be
Gosh.
happy.
This show gives me a tummy ache. There's just this like uneasiness of like, oh, this world's so beautiful, everything's so fun, and then just knowing that he could like not wake up and it be the next day and it be yesterday is just so
Imagine how
stomach
he
ache
feels,
material.
you
I
know?
Especially getting like more of his emotional state with
Yeah.
this. And it's only the beginning. I'm sure this isn't something that's going to change for him. He magically won't be able to do anymore.
Yeah.
I don't want him to cry. So nervous.
Oh,
Yeah, it's an after
no.
credit. Oh no. He's gonna stay up all night. He's ready.
Come on. Oh no. Oh no. He was poisoned?
Get to Beatrice, right?
Yeah.
Or Amelia? Survive.
God. All right. That was only episode 5 of Rezero.
This show is gonna make my stomach permanently hurt forever and ever.
You know what's interesting though? I don't think it's because of me. I think every time that I feel like pain and sadness and defeat, my stomach hurts. I think I'm like really trying to be in the head of like where my protagonist is, right? Mm-hmm. And I just feel so fucking bad for it. Like that's one of the most traumatic things I could ever imagine.
Especially when you get lines from him, like that time is short and the world is grand. Like this guy has such an endearing and positive and supportive and kind of both outlook and personality. And he's just so genuine and honest. And I'm like...
In my mind, this might have been one of the biggest episodes of the series so far. And I think that it might have been a sleeper, but in regards to Natsuki Subaru's emotions, this episode was fucking massive for me as a viewer.
Yeah.
We saw the whole range, but to see... like to start seeing the cracks, right? And because like, don't get me wrong. Like, okay, in real life, right? Sadness, whatever pain's gonna come my way. If I want to project that this whole thing has happened to me, I'm transported to a new world. All these things are happening. At the end of the day, I am the type of person to try to joke about it to make it easier for myself. Mm-hmm. I'm the type of person to probably try to make it a game to make this whole traumatic experience easier for myself. Mm-hmm. But once those cracks start showing and it starts getting more and more painful, God, I feel so fucking bad for him.
The defeated nature of it all. And to some point, his desire to be someone to Amelia and to help her, does that desire at any point get outweighed by the again and the again loop of being murdered? And would, if he just ran away from this mansion, you know, that could possibly save his life. Could the idea of him just continually dying and having to live through that and never progress, I don't think it could be. Eventually, I think he would just decide probably that it wasn't worth it.
But what can you do, right? Because like, okay, it's not worth it. If I die, if I do anything and end up dying, I'm just doing it again. Like, I'm back in the loop again. You don't have any out.
Well, there's reset points after a day or two of being alive. So if he could just make it to one day, make it to another. I mean, obviously, he's in Natsuki Subaru's character. It is not in his nature that he would just give up on Amelia, no matter like kind of how traumatic it seems to get. But I would say if another person was transported into this position, eventually they probably would just try to maybe live through the day and get as much knowledge of the world as possible, and then in the night when they know they're going to get murdered, they run away.
But like, it's such an interesting premise for a show because, okay, what's my like immediate, oh, why don't you just do this then, right? Like I have in every show. Like, why don't you just stay alive? Like, why don't you just not do anything, right? If that is your only way to survive, the life that you are living is going to be miserable. Sure, it's going to be longer. You're going to get more reset points, but you are getting nothing that means significant happiness to you. Like, you are to go forward day after day after resetting and still strive to like get those things, get a date, build these connections.
I would say it would take a very strong mind.
Yeah,
I think it would take a very strong mind, a strong heart, and an optimistic outlook on life that is kind of uncrushable. To defeat can't crush that.
Yeah.
And I would say we kind of have been given the type of protagonist who could probably withstand all of those things and withstand the repeated trauma.
At least for now. Like, as we said, this episode, I think, showed a little more of Subaru, and I love it for that. I'm just like, damn, man.
We knew it would hurt more in this specific situation because he's not being faced with an assassin in front of him that he's aware of how he's dying or who's killing him and why they're killing him, or at least some idea of what they want and how to defeat them. He doesn't have any of that information. He doesn't have an enemy that he knows the name and the face of. He doesn't even know how exactly he's dying. So he doesn't know. In this, at the end of here, you said poison. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. We have, before, when he woke up, we were like, okay, did they just kill him in the middle of the night while he was sleeping? And now I'm like, what is this weapon that is dragging on the floor? What is this thing that made him so nauseous he was puking everywhere? And just knowing that you don't know who to trust. But the other thing that is more defeating is that he had planned to go about this day in a way of repeating most of the same things he did before.
Yeah.
And it had already changed. It was already different.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is really him just waking up and not having that funny interaction with Rem and Ram, and him waking up being sick and then being like, do you have a stomach ache? Is that really enough to change everything?
Yeah. I don't know. I can't okay, so save point, right? The reset point. Right after we had our first interaction with Betty. Mm-hmm. And then that's it. Like that, we wake up from there and to the twins, right? Mm-hmm. We don't really have any constant in between the Appa stand and the twins in regards to like beings or like spirits that would be a good, oh, this is when reset points happen, right? Question though, we did get like a really weird look from, I believe, Rem in regards to demons.
Yeah, and a smile. I know, I wrote down demons.
What is that?
And it's cute how Subaru was kind of like, well, demons will laugh with you, Yeah. And I'm like, interesting. But why is she so... Rem is very down on herself, and she says that her sister is self-assured. But we're told all of these kind of contradictory information about how Rem is the more capable of the two, but Ram is definitely the more confident. Yeah. And that's a very interesting kind of dynamic.
I obviously don't trust Roswaal, and I really hope that Rem and Ram have a sense of freedom and they're not just like slaves or like confined to this place by Roswaal, or spirits being utilized in a way where they can't express themselves more than they are currently. Like when I look at like Puck or Betty, like they're very like big personalities and characters,
and
right?
And it seems like they can get up to some amount of mischief. Like Betty can hide. Like they're like, we haven't seen you in a while, So it's obvious that she doesn't have to be attainable, like doesn't have to be readily available for Roswaal whenever he needs her. But I don't know, Rem and Ram, very, very, very intriguing characters, especially Rem kind of at the end there.
How do you find, okay, obviously Subaru now knows that something affected him at night. Mm-hmm. I'd say with Subaru's logic, he would be able to discern that it's probably poison from something that he'd eat or drink. How do you tie that back or figure out that it's because people think you're a spy? We're privy to that information, but from his point of view, how, like, right now, what direction does he have? He has nothing in regards to what do I do that needs to be different.
And there's also this question that I would also have to ask, which is, what is the range of magic? Because we saw when he was starting to fall asleep, my mind immediately went to when Reinhard put Felt asleep.
Ooh, good one.
And I started to think to myself, well, what is the range to making someone go to sleep? Or what is the range to poisoning them? Do you make them go to sleep and then you poison them so he wouldn't even know he ate or drank anything? So there's definitely... He woke up to something, which almost makes me feel like he woke up to being poisoned. Like he had been poisoned, and then they quickly got out of the room, and he woke up to this.
So my best guess right now is that Ram is the one who poisons him, and because Rem seemingly has to clean up all of her work, Rem is the one who kills him.
Right. Because you're exactly right with like kind of a description of what happens here at the end is, well, we can't have him running around the halls puking everywhere and screaming for help.
Yeah.
He needs to be finished off. And as he gets upstairs, he starts to hear this sound, which is obviously what I would believe is a weapon being dragged on the ground.
Sounded like it.
It sounded like it.
And then we saw an arm come off, so probably
it's definitely
a good
sharp,
guess.
like a blade, like a giant claymore or something of that kind of nature.
I love giant claymores. They're so cool.
So yeah, I think that we're kind of possibly deducing the right thing, that Rem is the one that actually has to kill him here, and maybe Rem was the one that actually had to kill him last time too, because sorry, Ram, but your poison isn't good enough. It doesn't do the complete job.
Dude, there was this line that I don't know if you have it. I hope you do, because I only have pieces of it. But it was along the lines of like, time is limited and the world is grand.
I write time is short and the world is grand because I was just trying to write whatever.
It was such a good line, man.
Yeah.
They have some I think Subaru is a really interesting character, and like I feel like we don't know him yet all the way. And that's really interesting. Right,
he's like he's fluffy enough to be enjoyable and entertaining, but also enough for you to possibly insert yourself into the story as a viewer.
Yeah.
But there's definitely elements to him, like that could totally be annoying after a while. Someone that's like so serving other people, so pleasant, that could get old. But I find that he's also just very peculiar in kind of more entertaining ways than just being a sweetheart. Like, he's very reactive, he's funny, he seems to, I don't know, he's very interesting, and he's not just kind of fluffy and sweet, and like,
I want to learn more and more about him. The one thing I don't want to happen, though, I love when this happens in most shows that I watch or manga that I read or whatever, I never, ever want there to be a time skip in the show. Because in my mind, I think a time skip would mean even like 2 days.
This show could not have a time skip.
It would just mean, like, it would be inevitable in my head for a time skip to be synonymous with the most, like, severe depression version of Subaru. Like, of having to... It would come at the cost of, okay, he's tried 1,000 different things and nothing's worked. And look at how defeated he is. And I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that.
I would totally... I mean, not only do I not want to see it, but I don't think a time skip would fit in here at all.
Yeah.
In a way that wouldn't make me be like, why is there a time skip?
Well, it would have... I think a time skip would come for to get across the point of how many attempts he's had and still can't.
Oh, like a montage.
Correct.
Of like... him continuously waking up. Okay, that would be okay with me.
I don't want that to happen, because then I
was going like, 2 weeks in the future, and he has lived those days and survived, that I would be upset about the time skip.
No, I just mean, like, I don't want to see the reality of him trying 1,000 different lives.
Oh, it's an avoidance.
Yes, correct.
And denial. Yes,
correct.
Okay.
That is where I'm coming from.
I understand you now.
Yeah. So he was learning I, Ro, and Ha glyphs. what small thing changed, and did it occur in that initial meeting of Rem and Ram that changed his work to change his work and then to end up teaching him how to read and write? Like, what? That's crazy to me.
Because we know that we thought, okay, as a viewer, we thought the moment that was the moment you needed to change was what he says to Roswaal. Like, I want to work here. We thought that was the pivotal moment, really. Other than making everyone kind of like you and befriending people, that's important. But we thought that the real pivotal moment was what he asks for. Mm-hmm. What he asks of Roswaal, to work there, to be a guest. So that's what I thought was going to be the thing that changed everything. And I honestly thought he was going to use what Amelia said from last episode and ask to be a guest. But he was attempting to recreate everything the same as possible. So it does make me wonder if, since he tried to recreate and things weren't going that way despite him trying, it makes me think that the next time he wakes up, he is going to try to go about things more creatively and differently.
After he gets through his initial trauma of
oh my gosh. Him when he was running and crying.
Dude, I was like heartbroken. At the very beginning
of this episode. And then to get him at the end there.
He tried so hard, you know?
So hard.
Want to know what's great about this show so far? You felt all the time and energy he put into this redo. Mm-hmm. You felt it. And it still didn't work. So you understand how he's going to feel next episode, because that's how we feel as an audience. It's so well done.
There was only one thing that I was confused about, and I don't know if my brain wasn't completely on, but the spirits having memories or knowledge of Subaru.
That does not exist.
So how did he already go to Betty's room?
Subaru's starting point was not the initial first time he woke up in the mansion. It was after he ran around the mansion, stumbled into Betty's room, got knocked out, and woke up again. Oh. So I believe that the starting point starts the first time he meets Ram and Rem.
Why that was confusing to me is I did question last episode if after getting knocked out by Betty was another reset. And him waking up in that bed was another reset. Mm-hmm. But then I was like, okay, so was it a reset, or did someone find him? Did someone find him and put him back to bed because he was unconscious? Thank you for clearing that up for me.
I think I'm right, though. Always chance I can be wrong.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
By how she was speaking to him about it, that makes a lot of sense.
My last thing that I have, really, is that I'm interested to see if and how the phone comes back into play. Because, we have that, and there are things that we probably could do with it. Maybe, hell, if Roswaal's the best magician in this, around, and he's never seen a media like this, that might be a route.
Possibly.
Because it's definitely not something he'd seen before.
Is Roswaal the key? Because,
Roswaal has a lot of, energy.
He's the one in charge. And if we remember to when he was speaking to Ram in last episode, I believe Ram is the one that says, well, they're just children. As if Ram's kind of against the idea, do we really have to kill him? He doesn't seem suspicious. So is Roswaal really the one that we need to turn our attention to proving our worth? And is that even possible? Or do we need to just make Rem... If Rem is the character that we think needs to do the final blow, what more can we do to make Rem want to not kill us other than making her smile over this demon conversation that we don't even truly understand, but obviously meant something to her?
You know how?
How?
Because Rem prioritizes her sister over Subaru.
So always. We need to make Ram adore us.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because then no attempt would happen, which would come at a failed attempt, which would come at Rem trying to help Ram with her failure. Mm-hmm. The show's gonna drive me crazy, but I love it. I love it so much. Okay. This is really I am enjoying all the shows we're watching right now, but I love this show.
I feel like my brain hurts just as much as Steins Gate.
Yeah.
And then my stomach hurts maybe the same as House of the Dragon.
Oh God. Okay. All right, that's all I have, you.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we hope to see you next time.